You could say that it's a surreal cop drama with fantasy elements. It deals with a dwarf that invents a way to envelope a nuclear blast in Alaska. He's got to have a militia team to help him out to protect the technology. He was a school teacher. Basically, it's called a rib because of the Revolutionary Independent Branch. Don't mess with them. They have a sign, looks like this. They'll have birds that look exactly like that. Rib would. They would look almost exactly, but they'd be hummingbirds probably. Because hummingbirds have the in nature, they have the behavior to hover, where you can listen, right, and they can be kind of still in the air for whatever reason. They don't move. They'd have to have the behavior of what the drones. I'm talking about mini drones. They're called mini UAVs, and the Navy does have some of them. There are hummingbirds, and they hover. Now, in my dystopian novel, it's as small as a fly, but they use what's known as the bumblebee in espionage. I'm pretty sure they do, and they also have a fly in my fantasy dystopian novel that I have not released the title of yet, but it starts with an M. Yes, it does start with an M, and there's a fly in that one. It's about a couple. It's kind of almost a love story a little bit. It's about a couple being monitored 24/7 days a week for money, but they keep their regular jobs. So they have to pretend like they have their menial jobs. One works in basically transport, maybe you could say, and is a YouTuber. And the other one works in the chicken food industry, like aprons and chicken. Like basically, she works for a place called Mr. Chicken's Kitchen, or something like that. Mr. Chicken Kitchen. Mr. Chicken Kitchen. It's a fictional thing. It's like Chicken Express or something. And they keep those menial jobs and they're paid 6 figures. But they have to stay in their little small apartment and do all this stuff. And then they move up in the chain of economy, meaning they move up a pay grade or whatever you want to call it. That's the story that starts with an M. I'm kind of stuck on that one a little bit. Rib, they do use espionage, but it's like, this is fantasy, it's like hummingbirds that look exactly like hummingbirds. You can't even tell the difference really, not even close up. And they use them to drop packages or messages. It could be like, they could drop a computer chip or something. It could be anything in the middle of wartime. And they're not governed by any type of government. So Rib doesn't have any kind of military backing or anything. They don't have the power of Elon Musk or something like that. They don't have that kind of power. But they do have a tremendous amount of money because of the dwarf. He's like a genius. So he turns his lawsuit, because of the department, and it does take place in Fort Worth, some of it, in Alaska, Fairbanks, Alaska. He turns I used a scout. It's Timu. Timu's a company. They use a scout for some of it. And I didn't really ask permission, but the scout volunteered. He was called Adam the Woo. He was a scout. A filming location scout, for sure. I mean, he did filming locations, but he also scouted locations for all kinds of stuff. He did go to Fairbanks. He went to a place called the Moose Head something, or Moose something. But anyway, they base their camp somewhere in Fairbanks. And they're like normal Alaskan people. You couldn't tell them, you wouldn't know in a million. Think of the resistance, during the time of Marcel Marceau in World War II. Those guys would blend into society, and then they'd show up with a freaking cocktail bomb, whatever you call it. With a bomb that was, put like an Everclear and a wet sock, and they would throw it into the Nazis' freaking paddy wagon or whatever the hell, you know what I mean? So, they'd throw it at a bunch of Nazis or something. They do anything. These guys are not really that way at all. These guys are tech geniuses, right? Well, the main dude is. He teaches everybody else how to basically get the things that they need. And they're all from the street, pretty much all of them. But Jed was a Van Dweller and was once in a band. He had bi-level haircut. They were like these types of people, but probably a little younger. And a lot of them had been hooked on stuff like Droopy. Basically, is, you could say it's a code name, but they all have code names, like usernames. And Droopy basically is like a drug addict, a narcoleptic drug addict. I said Jeff Tweedy, I think. No, that's Poopy. That's Poopy. Never mind. Sorry. Jeff Tweedy was a different one. On Jeff Tweedy, I was doing casting in my head. Jeff Tweedy was Poopy, because Poopy had a problem with his digestive system and would poop his pants and stuff. He really did. That's why he was on the freaking street, because he had to live in a freaking garbage can almost, because he was pooping his pants. Probably from near Alaska area. No one worked with him. He pooped his pants all the time. Droopy would be a narcoleptic drug addict or something. Think of River Phoenix in My Own Private Idaho or something, which is like a perfect example for Droopy. I know I mentioned Jeremy Davies, but I think I mentioned him maybe for Jed Wilson, because Jeremy Davies is older. Jed Wilson is an older character. I did mention Brad Pitt. Oh, no. Look at this. No way. We'll see how long it goes. Jed Wilson, I said, listen, whenever I say Brad Pitt and Jed Wilson, I'm not saying, oh, I have to use Brad Pitt. I'm trying to give you a quick description of what this person kind of may have looked like, or would have, like, when I say cast list, this would be like, hey, Cole, you're writing a novel. Who would you cast if this turned into a movie? That's kind of the thing. It was like an experiment. We did it in directing class in college. You'd say, oh yeah, they do paintball right here. Hey, you can't see it, yeah. It was an exercise at UNT, so University of North Texas. They were like, what you want to do is you're casting a movie. You use movie stars. You take a play. It can be any play you want. And you're going to cast this play using movie stars. Well, when I did that, I started getting a little creative and started writing shit and stuff, because movie stars are expiring. So I was like, okay, this particular book is experimental, and I'm going to, not in the book though. In the book, I don't say Brad Pitt's name. I do later on in a heist story where they use movie star names as their cover. Like, that's what they call each other. And this particular novel, I just did it outside of the book as a guide for organization purposes. So what I was saying, like Brad Pitt, I would also give another name, because they're a mixture of these people, like their attitude and behavior. So Jed Wilson, I said Brad Pitt because Brad Pitt plays like some of those weird kind of eccentric characters. He did in a few of the films. And this guy would have like bi-level haircut, okay? He could easily be played by anybody, any great actor. And he would be like a Bon Jovi fan, all right? He would like drive a GMC van and dwell in it. He'd live in a van down by the river, but he was, fairly fit guy. Whether he did drugs or not, he probably did some. But he was intelligent enough to work with Doc. And Doc finds him, he finds all these people through security cameras, basically, like in 7-Eleven, and he can tap into all these different cameras everywhere and be like, this guy needs help. So Jed becomes like the lead sniper, and he has to teach Jed how to snipe. And Doc probably has someone that we don't know yet that has taught these people to do this stuff. But we haven't seen that person yet. Now, the Lone Star Hacker is never seen from the front or the side. He's always seen from the back. He's kind of a dork kind of guy that would wear think of Pulp Fiction, think of John Travolta. Whenever John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson are kind of like in their underwear kind of thing. They're wearing the weird off-colored shirts that are like college campus shirts. He might have like a Taco Bell stain somewhere or something, and they're like a weird off-colored shirt, maybe like a college campus shirt. He dresses very generic, and you'd see him from behind, but you only see him typing. I thought it was like cool, like put Cooper in it, because you don't see his face and stuff. just to see that that's actually Cooper, and or something like that, because I went to school with the guy. If I had my way, I was like, hey, will you do this cameo? You got to lose a lot of weight and everything. He's like, you fucking psycho, shut up, click, So I'd find someone skinny, because I'd want him to be very quick on the computer. But a real skinny guy that wears, like, campus clothing, like, college campus clothes that would be like, they wear, like, not pajamas, but like something they would wear to bed if they didn't have pajamas, but they were wearing it, like, as pajamas. This thing is so slick, the tempered glass and the Pelican, it's like, it's so dang slippery. But he would wear like generic stuff, and you'd only see him from behind, and he'd be typing, and he'd be watching like weird movies, like that, or like thriller movies, but he'd like know how to hack into anything. Is that kind of guy, and so he's one of the characters.
I think I did an okay job.
So you can see sensors and stuff in it. Goodness gracious, man.
No, I told you what happened to that.
I know.
I opened up the doorknob. That's what happened. That did our turn on.
This thing's cinematic as much as Spielberg, dude. Look at this thing. There we go. Talking about the lens.
I need to text her,
like a Fellini movie. All right. I got my hairdryer and my drone. She just took a photo of the Apple CarPlay mileage. I was like, what, are you going to write me off on my taxes? Yeah, I got my hairdryer and my drone. Just smart glasses. Cool, there's my drone. It's got little colorful stuff. It's got little colorful, what's it called? There are little colorful light bumpers on it. It's a quad drone, and it does not look like a hummingbird. But I just got it, and a blow dryer. That way I can do an operation on my iPhone 17, because it's got a Pelican. There he goes. 913, please, WD. What does that WDIV mean? Then they got the mansion, not the mansion, what do they call Mansfield? Yeah, I miss every other word. They're like, hey, he's an actor. Mansfield bars. Spivey with the spy glasses.
Please.
Yeah, it's got
I'm gonna jump out.
Okay. Yeah, she's gonna do it like that airline. Remember that gay airline guy? What was he? It's called a flight attendant. Yeah, he's like, give me the, I'll take the champagne, and I'll pull this emergency switch and jump onto this, like, slide. Remember that guy? He's like, I had enough champagne. I'm out of here. Let's go.
Okay.
Pull the lever, emergency door opens, the emergency chute comes out, it lands, it's basically a slide, and then he slides down. Pretty much Linda, like her whole life. That poor guy.
Speaking of
champagne and flight attendants. Yeah, it's old school. Back in the 1970s, they used to do that all the time.
Please.
What? Seeing if. Okay, so you're talking about a wine bottle,
Empty.
and it's going like it's shattering in the closet.
Yes.
And like sometimes I'm just barefoot walking around the closet, and you put a towel over it.
Yeah.
Maybe. What about Kitty?
Well, hopefully he's not too smart to open the door.
You're talking about like, hey, Cole, you're a movie star now. Look what kind of glasses you get to wear. You're in your 50s. You look like you're freaking in a Terry Gilliam movie. She takes a wine bottle and breaks it in the closet, and then she throws a towel over it.
I'm surprised
you go home, you're like,
I grabbed the bag.
Okay.
My hat.
Organization's life.
Well, the closet's too freaking small.
And every other word's an F word, like she's in the Navy. You're talking about the wine. Yeah. Fried chicken where? She finally confessed she pooped on the floor. It was a little pebble of poop. I was like, who are you, Amber Heard in the Johnny Depp case? It's like, oh, I'm just pooping on the floor. It's fine. Oh, it's fine. As long as you just pick it up. It's okay. Hey, Kitty does it all the time, but he usually does it in the cat box.
I thought it was a piece of cat food.
You do it in the cat box if you're going to poop. You poop in the cat box. Occasionally you can do that. We only have one rest.
Battery Claim Center. State Computer. How do we say that? Okay, that's the weird address.
genius. You break glass at weddings. You sell glass break. You know what I mean? And then you're breaking glass in the closet with the wine. And then you sell the glass break for the monitor. Or for the monitor. Right, next door knock will be 1.2. What they did with David and Goliath is they were like, this young boy is going to be sent out to the battlefield and he's going to die. But he's a pretty good shot and he might knock out his eye, because Goliath could kill probably 100 of their men before he would even slightly be injured. They might shoot him with an arrow and he'd laugh. They throw a rock at him and he'd just kind of grumble. He's like, well, we send David out. He's a good shot. He might get him in the eye. That would at least deter him, and maybe, you know, he'd only kill like 50 of our guys before we go to battle. They were getting ready to go to battle. So the battlefield's got all these Philistines, or whatever you want to call them, and they're all laughing at this boy that walks up with a sling, and he's got a little pebble in it. Well, probably a stone, probably a few of them. They say there's probably a few of them that he had. And he's walking into the battlefield, and he has no armor. He basically almost pretty much like has a diaper. And they're like, this is never going to happen in a million years. This guy's dead. So why are they doing this? Everything gets quiet. And Goliath is like crying, laughing. You know, he's like, this, I'll eat this guy. David doesn't say a word. All he's doing is getting the stone ready. Probably praying. He starts spinning that cord like this, right over his head. The character I played in first grade, and I was very excited about it. David tilts his, yeah, they say he had a helmet. He might have had a helmet. They show him that way in one of the bronze statues. But Goliath tilts his back a little bit. It's probably something they did. Just a little bit, you know, because he probably has full-on armor that went down all the way through here, covering the forehead, which is a very important part in battle. But he tilts it back a little bit, smiling, like, I'm going to eat you, basically, is what he tells him. He releases the stone, and in one shot, nails Goliath right where he was aiming, in the front forehead, which can knock you out. It can, it's been known. In the back, it's even worse, but in the front, it can, not always. In this case, it knocks him out, and Goliath falls over like a dead tree. And David just slowly walks over there, and everyone's frozen. They just can't believe it. Takes his sword, chops his head off, and holds it up, and everyone cheers. Even the Philistines cheer, probably, too. There's their king. Answers the door in his underwear. These are dispositioned. Okay, so some of these might need a couple of days of stew. That's what the blue kind of represents, not moved in yet. You usually give it a few days because you can kind of remember. Here's another red. This is pretty much the battlefield right here. These will have information on them too. There's the pop down. All right, next door knock, 1.9. We're gonna stay with this system, and I'll tell you why later. It has to do with how they track things, but we'll still use this with, and I'll show you. We'll still use this as well. We'll just see if it'll let us right here. Okay, and see that right there. So we just got brand new beats. They just replaced it, but it still tracks it regardless if you use it or not. It should pull up here in a second. There it goes. So when we go here, you'll see it here, but we won't do that because we're already going to anticipate that it's going to stick. It's 1.8 on it. So we're going to do the old method, because the old method that we used, or really it's a new method, is like that. We use this one because we know they cannot stick, or they get in trouble with that dealership. It goes all the way to Korea. They got to be fair. They keep their food hidden underground. They actually do. They keep their food underground. That's why it has a certain type of taste. The Koreans, they'll store their food underground. And you get like Korean sushi or something, it's gonna have a different taste than the Japanese and things like that. But anyway, this is what we're gonna use to get there, but it's gonna be stored on here because they send you a report. Right, so I show that that's there just to show that it's being used because it's proof, right? It's proof. 1.7 next door knock.
On the roof, her beauty and the moonlight.
Next knock, 1.4. Yeah, the guy's like, hey man, these are $1 million homes you're knocking on. These are between 500,000 to $1 million. I was like, hey man, I met Ben Kingsley, the Indian guy. He's like, yeah. I said, well, you know, I met Ben Kingsley. What do you think about that? Hey, look, money doesn't matter when it comes to someone maybe taking a portal, or I mean, what do you call it? Well, you can call it whatever you want, but it's a panel, you know, a panel, and throwing it in the neighbor's yard, you know, while they're in the middle of the home invasion, even though it has an alarm. I mean, 105 decibel alarm and an address connected to it. They're like, hey, the portal's in the neighbor's yard during the home invasion, but we know the original address. Maybe we should do the well-being check at this house. In a matter of 3 to 4 minutes, shoot, you could call and they could still throw your cell phone into the pool, right? That might not help them on a response time. Hey, we just got a 911 response thing on a cell phone, and then all of a sudden it gets thrown in the pool or broken with a hammer. You know what I mean? And they take the, let's say what's it called? It's a panel, alarm panel, and they throw it in the neighbor's yard. That still wouldn't work. They could overthrow the phone maybe, but can they overthrow the panel that's already connected with an address? That panel goes off, they're gonna go to that home no matter what happens. It's just like a 911 call. Even though, hey, these things, every day they go off and the police don't even know where to go. They may have a GPS track that goes out maybe for a slight second. They can get these phones, but a panel goes off that's already registered. Might as well have your phone registered too. And that's another thing that maybe ADT might do in the future is have things where they're actually, that actually travels, and these do travel because you can control the panel that goes on your wall with the phone. Everything you do on the phone, you can do on the panel. But they're still like, oh, you know, it's $1 million home, this nice neighborhood ever. You know, there hasn't been a burglary in 5 years. Well, you know what? That's the same thing that happened to my grandparents whenever they were in Diamond Lock, the nicest neighborhood in Halton. They probably never had a burglary since then. It does happen every 2 minutes. And it turns out to be very, very Martin Scorsese Cape Fear style thing. Look at that thing. They're doing the Equus film, one Anthony Hopkins did on Broadway. It'd be like a good little house right there. It had the horse stables. Yeah, Anthony Hopkins would be like, yeah, I did that a long time ago. Well, he did Equus on Broadway. But they made a movie. I believe they did. I could be wrong, but they made a movie called Equus. It's a crazy movie. We did a scene from it. Richard Massey III did a scene from it at Westland. It was probably one of the best things I've seen on stage, too. A lot of people said that. But it was only a scene, and, you know, that you see, like, for a minute in college for, like, a practice scene, you know. But Broadway has some good stuff. I've seen some good stuff on Broadway. Off-Broadway, too. Probably one of the best plays I've ever seen was directed by Philip Seymour Hoffman, written by Rebecca Gilman, who lives in Texas, called Glory of Living, with two pretty well-known actors. Anna Paquin was about 16 or 17. And Jeffrey Donovan from Burnt Notice was in it. was probably the best play I've ever seen live. It was like the Streetcar Named Desire on Broadway at the time. All right, 1.4 next door knock. Next knock, 1.5. The things to lock them in to get that stone, boom, and get them. In closing, did they mention we'd be stopping by? That's what he kept going to in training, talking about in closing. Did they mention we might be stopping by in the closing? So you're battling with a smoke screen, which is not the real objection. The other one, which is not necessarily a smoke screen, is called the root objection or the real objection. Those like, blah, blah, dogs, blah, blah, blah. That's all smoke screen, all the BS. Oh, not right now. They just get through the smoke screen. In closing, they mentioned we might be stopping by. In closing is connected to what they've been doing, is in closing, right? In the closing process, did they mention we might be stopping by, is kind of your link in to swing to the next little objection. It's battling at the door is what they call it. It's the battle. What was he looking at over there? It's very similar to the teardrop. See how it's curved at the bottom? Jed Wilson, it's smaller than that. It's only the size of about a bed. They have them, they're very lightweight. And they're good for heating with buddy heaters. That's a teardrop because of how it's shaped on the side right there, or the bottom part. It's very similar to that, but not that big. That even looks like an Explorer a little bit. It'd be pulled by one of those. Very, very lightweight, so it can be pulled quickly. Enough to keep you warm and the dog. Probably enough room just for him and the dog. Everything else would be compact. So in the story, all the descriptions and stuff, he might have a little bit of room to walk around in it. It's not like, I'd probably say it's about as long as his truck, but not as bulky as that one. But it's as long as his truck. The truck would be like an Explorer, a Ford Explorer, which is called an Interceptor. They just don't know about it. This right here is way bigger. That's like a luxury. That's like a mansion. It's probably about half the size of that. But enough to move around a little bit in it. And to keep a dog. What do they want my kids for? Void fairies. Next door knock. 0.5. 6.4. All right, next door knock, 0.5. All the shit that you don't need, like the drone and the hair dryer and all that stuff, that comes first through Temu. Listen, beware of Temu. And if you want to know about Temu, there's a guy posing as the devil, or at least as the Antichrist, known as Louis Offer. Think what that sounds like. Hangs out with German the Venice. He's got a cute little dog, though, and a sports car. Red beard, red horns coming up here for hair. He hangs out at Venice Beach, and he's funny. And he also talks about Temu nonstop. He probably is the Antichrist. German and Venice would know, though. And hey, would the Antichrist hang out with a German? According to my mom, they would. No. German and Venice is really nice. His mother's is nothing but smiles. She's like this. And the Temu guy, who's Louis Offer, if you know what that sounds like, Lucifer, he's like, girls and boys, hey! This world, man. They're all in Venice Beach laughing. We got a teardrop camper and some warm soup and a sports car, and a surfboard, all from Temu. Even the soup. I got some duct tape for free. Look at this. Meow. And he's like, oh, who cares if he's the Antichrist? He shops with Temu. I mean, come on. Temu, that's a lifetime freaking disaster. Next door knock, and not for Temu, 1.8. Burglary alarm. All I needed my iPhone 11. Watch out. Here we go. Well, actually, it's an iPhone 17. Pro, baby, Pro. Watch this. Wow. Wow. 105 decibel. All right, let me tell you. Temu, they give you free stuff, but they plague you with text messages and emails nonstop. They got a little casino wheel thing that pops up and like, go ahead and spin it every time it's 100% off, and you never get anything for free completely. You know, I got a blow dryer, a fucking drone that has colors on it. Who knows if it even flies? It probably does. This is my third drone. I haven't used any of my drones. All my drones were independent cameras. They didn't connect with the phones. This will be the first one to connect with the phone. Yeah, Koreans. And I'm talking about all this Temu stuff. This is free. Got your duct tape free. Now we got too much. What's it called? Paper towels. Right. It's part of the 3 Ps according to Matt, the radar under the van, which is better than all of them. Yeah, he has the 3 Ps: pretzels, paper towels, and pussycats. It's supposed to be pleasure, procreation, and protection. This guy's got a van and he gets pretzels, and occasionally he gets paper towels and something else that starts with a P. It probably has to do with the damn bird seed that he makes. He makes bird seed and pork chops. What's bird seed? Does anybody know what? Send me a comment. When he makes bird seed, he's probably crying. He's a cool dude though. He does like these low shots, like he turns into a possum and starts running. I don't know what it is, dude. It's called YouTube. It's like Temu, but visual. It's like, here's my barcode, or not my barcode, my QR, and my Patreon channel. Some of them, you came, hey, listen, on Facebook now, you came and like certain people without paying them $1. Like, this chick's on roller skates, she's hot. Pay her $1 if you're gonna hit that like button. What? And then Zuckerberg's like, we're gonna start it for free with no advertisement. On Facebook, he's like, we're gonna start Facebook without advertisements, no ads, no pop-ups. It's gonna be brilliant. Look what it turned into. Now they're gonna have a connection with Temu on all your pages. So you're like, oh, I'm joining Facebook and Temu at the same time? No, I'm just joking. Hey, listen, he had to go to court. Yeah, there were kids involved. Hey, watch this. Kitty. Meow. That's a clear shot. Bird seed is a cooking method, bulk cooking. I don't know what it's made out of. They're doing it. Remember back in the day, you know what, forget about it. I was going to make a joke, but remember back in the day when, forget it. Just forget it. I'm trying to figure out what I'm talking about. Bird seed. They're making bird seed. Who makes bird seed for food? You know, you don't even throw birds. Oh, no, you throw bird seeds at a wedding. This guy's a genius. Yeah. This Matt dude, under the radar van. Comes out of Boston. Doesn't even talk about Matt Damon. Yeah, but he did talk about Hollywood one time. It's like, dude, go. But only thing is, you be prepared to die. Talk about Goliath. That's going to be Hollywood, pretty much. Oh, I think I remember these people. No, he's got a real job. He's a pretty cool dude. But he does make bird seed with pork chops. So he makes bulk cooking. He does it in a van. Probably a Ford Transit or something like that. It's like a cool van that he loves. Probably, oh, look at this. What is this? Oh, soccer game. That's a Tesla, and that's a soccer game. I remember those days. Those are the days when you're free. All you had to worry about was where there's a Gatorade and the sliced oranges. And, of course, a soccer ball. And don't get hit in the face like my sister did with her soccer ball. Oh, man. Yeah. She had to play goalie temporarily for like a half second. Those goalies get hit in the face with that soccer ball. The soccer ball's going like, their noses are like, hey, honey, look at my nose. Yeah, our goalie had asthma. That's why he was a goalie. He ended up in a $1 million ranch later on down the line. Asthma's tough for a sports guy. They usually are goalies in soccer. He was a good goalie, though. He was our favorite goalie. The other goalie was a free bleeder, and he was also a wild back. We had a position in soccer called a wild back. That means they played all over the field. And he was a free bleeder, so if he skint his knee, he had to get on the ambulance. Or he had to get in the ambulance or on the ambulance. He had to jump towards the ambulance. He had to crawl towards the ambulance. And he played football, too. And there was an ambulance parked out every time, but never at a soccer game. He wore knee pads and was careful. He's passed away now, though, because of Special 8 they use. They mix it to help people, free bleeders. Back in the 80s, that's how a lot of people ended up getting the gay plague thing, right? Because they mixed it together. He died. You ever read a children's play called The Yellow Boat? It talks about hemophiliacs and the AIDS, yeah, the deadly thing. Because they would mix all this different blood, and it was deadly in the 80s. They didn't know exactly what they were doing. But they've gotten better now with the hemophiliacs. You don't want that. Yeah, not as a parent. You're talking about nerve-wracking. You walk around with a whistle and a panic button. I don't know what the whistle would do, but the panic button may get them there quick enough. They scratch their knees and it's time to go. It's go time. So his name is Matt, but I see his name as other stuff. Just like I thought Adam the Woo, I thought his name was Adam Devine. It actually was Adam Williams. But Matt is Under the Radar Van. He does it all the time. He's got one of the best shows right now. It's a hot upcoming show coming out of Boston. He stealth camps and makes bird seed and pork chops and buys paper towels. And he likes to go shopping in the area. Man, if this was Uber Eats, I'd be in a lot of freaking, I'd be really in a big hurry. I'd have a Defender auto box, probably some kind of phone thing or wrapped around my neck, and probably a barking dog, whatever that means. There it is. Did they look home? What the heck is that echo? I don't even.
Hallelujah.
0.3 707 next door.
But all I've ever
I say. All right, 0.5. Will come from above and below at the same time. Nearly. It would be dug from below all in one night. And the new Jerusalem would finally be put into the sky. It would look something like that. Probably. Just like that. All right, next door knock, point. Yeah, brand new too. All right, check activity right here. Got it. And that says the 26. So no go on that one. Find ones less activity. All right, next one, 1.8 for the doorknob. So I gotta get that. Yeah, I gotta get that replaced. It's just a wiper blade from O'Reilly's, about $10, or they snap them on there. Hey, there'll be a day. It'll be their first Messiah. They expect him to come from the sky, massive dude, the leader, bad A, just he's ready to roll. It's our second time that we've had him come to Earth and make his presence known. First time he was a servant. He was nice. He liked fishermen, hung out with like tax collectors that didn't want to do it anymore. And he died on a cross, rose the third day, told everybody you can baptize and you can heal. He was a nice dude. He suffered like 6-7 hours on that cross, and then he rose on the third day. Now, he comes back again, he ain't the same. He's like their first Messiah, but he's the second coming. We already know him. Some say he's like a big brother, but he's a friend. You know, a friend like on the battleground. Hey, dude, what's going on? How you doing? That kind of thing. He's like a friend. But to you, since he's your first Messiah, and he won the second time, he's going to pursue you. You ain't going to stop him. He's unstoppable. His white robe will be bathed in blood. He'll have the sword of the Spirit. You won't even know what hit you. The explosion will come from above and below. There'll be lots of light. Your friend that you know about. Ask Spielberg about the light. It'll come from above and below. You won't know what hit you. And you'll be in the sky. He will not be nice like he was the first time. He will not be a servant. He will be a battler. Meaning he will battle. And he'll win every time. There will be blood. Ask P.T. Anderson. There will be blood. He made the movie about it, kind of. Well, he made a movie called There Will Be Blood, but it's not about oil. It's not about oil. And it's not about money. It won't be about fame or glory. It'll be an accounting. You won't know what hit you, and you would beg and wish to know him. Then, as you find your way to hell, you will see the one that you hated. You will see the one that you were jealous of, the one that you did not understand. Feast with his family. And it'll be glorious, and you will be thirsty. But not a drop will be given to you. Not a drop. Especially wine. Because his blood is the new wine. That you know the taste not. It'll be a glorious day for some, and gnashing of the teeth for others. We're in Canterbury, and that day will come from above and below. It's 1, 2, and 3. Next door knock, 1.6. In the second novel, and I call it a novel, in Rib, which has a different title. The first one is called Shepherds of Alaska. Dog Night Out happens, so it's probably just called Dog Night Out. I think I've said another name. It could be called The Reckoning or The Accounting. That day, when Shep is pulling up, because his guiltiness is washed free. That's what Rib proves, that there was a Daniel, Lucius Copex, that he was not guilty of the migrant killings. He was the migrant killer. Now, when he arrives in Fort Worth from Alaska, he's happy because he's going to go back and join his force. National Guard everywhere, helicopters everywhere. all the houses, all many houses, have an alarm system going off at 105 decibels. Sounds like fire truck sirens going off in the living room. He hears it from a distance. Total anarchy. Smoke in the air. He sees it from a distance. He's got Buster with him, the old dog, German Shepherd, that he once called Rover when he was Archie Rector, when he was hiding, because he didn't do anything wrong. But when he returns, the whole entire city's chaos. That's a different story. That gets closer to the end times. We're in a neighborhood right here, but all those 105 decibels, you can hear it like crickets in the distance, loud crickets. But you can hear it crying. He hears his city crying. His city weeps, moans. Helicopters over above trying to stop the chaos. He either can join it or he can start to hide. That's the second novel. There's a third one too. Because Doc realizes how to do what? He can send cats, domestic cats, back in time through a parallel universe called the NE, the non-existence, which is also the new energy, where he draws a lot of the energy from. He can send those cats through what? You guessed it. Outdoor wardrobes, because they're hard to find on the map. Well, they're scarce to find an outdoor wardrobe. They're out there. You can find an outdoor wardrobe, maybe a chest or drawer, but you can find an outdoor wardrobe. That's where the cat would be sent through to start to scout. And the cats work off smell. They're actually very well trained. Cats are. The dogs are used, Shep has the dog, but the cats are used for Doc Shelby. And they will time travel through and go through the wardrobes. And they appear there to go around certain people to leave messages a certain way. It's very strange how they do it, because cats find you. You don't find the cat finds you. My mom believes, she kind of feels that cats are actually like aliens kind of thing, But whether they are or not, we don't know. But Doc Shelby uses them to go through the wardrobes that are outdoors and find these people that he has to change their kind of like dispositions on things. It's kind of strange. The third book is the third novel. Let's say use the word novels. Is quoting, or not quoting, but it's an homage to The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe to a certain extent, which is C.S. Lewis. It's slowly, not slowly, but it's surely an homage. It's surely an homage to that, which I think is a word. It's referencing some of that, the wardrobe. Why did C.S. Lewis use a wardrobe? Because it was indoor and it held the clothing for the costume of the character. We got to get a name for the third novel. First one, Shepherds of Alaska. Second one, most likely, Dog Night Out. And the third one could be The Cat, or something like that. The Cats and the Wardrobes. It goes really into fantasy. Probably something like that. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, that signifies the same thing. The cats, plural. He probably used more than one cat, and the wardrobe. He's got to get the cats to find the owners. Then he can trace the right owners. They would take in the cats, and they would not be the catnapper. The third novel is called The Cats in the Wardrobe. The first one is Shepherds of Alaska. It's Rib, parentheses, or I'm sorry, rib parentheses or dog night out. What the heck is that? It's something. I don't know what that was, but you can see it right there. See it? What is that above the red line? That was a reflector on the gate. Okay, it's called Rib parentheses or Dog Night Out close parentheses dash Shepherds of Alaska. That's the first novel. The second one, same title, but it's called Dog Night Out. The third one is called The Cats in the Wardrobe. Next Door Knock, 1.9, 807.
When you lit that pipe,
Legion, the whole freaking thing, right? NRHTO, where Jason was like, Next Door Knock, 1.1, 812. Peter would be sailing along maybe at night. And then we're talking about the rock. He'd be sailing for the fish, pulling these strings. Really, they were probably ropes or strings to get the net just right. And there's probably something in his blind spot, maybe another sailor. So you get the right spot to get those fish for the market. Couldn't find anything. And this dude says, hey, throw the nets on the other side. He's like, what? What other side? Ah, crap, just throw the nets on the other side. So he throws the nets on the other side, and the whole thing nearly busts, full of fish. What? Who is this dude? Did I tell you to throw the nets on the other side? How did you know? You a fisherman? I fish. I'm a fisher. But I fish for your hearts. Hearts? What are you talking about? I find people like you. Oh, really? For what purpose? Now, what am I going to do with all this fish? Now I'm practically rich for the day. They're going to feed my sheep. There ain't sheep around here. We're on water. There's sheep all over the place. You see the people? They're my sheep. You're going to feed them. You're known as the Rock. Look at this thing right here. It's NRH Fire Department. 135 decibel on their fire truck engines. And you'll feed them. Okay. Will you die from me? Boat travel upon the Sea of Galilee, looking for the fish. It even does today. And sometimes they'll throw those nets on the other side, and it's more than they can handle. Those are the Rock. But they will not be crucified upside down this time. Not if they listen to him. They'll celebrate. There'll be a great celebration. It won't all be sad. And they'll probably be eating fish and bread, probably. Something that looks like pita bread. Of happy happy smiles on their face, drinking the wine that represents his blood. But there'll be no drunkenness, only happiness. But for right now, you stay sober to fight the lion. Because remember, there's the good lion and the bad lion. One waits to consume if you're not vigilant. There's a good lion too. He's the one that fights for you. He is basically your defense. A great counselor, they say. Wonderful in all the things that he does. Watching over his children with his hand on your shoulder, saying you did a good job. Keep it up. We have a great battle to fight. We won't use swords. We'll put those away. Our army will be of the crippled and the sick and the poor. And we will use charity as our strategy to win the hearts of them all that follow and listen for the sake of their legacy. Next knock, 2 minutes, 0.4. Go. Next door knock for 3 minutes, 1.2 for the door knock. Grandpa grabs his 2 shotguns with his brother Zeke, who had a voice changer. They going to Vegas. They're going to leave the golf course area of North Richland Hills, right by whatever that was, Roof Snow, whatever, all the way to Vegas. My uncle had to get in the car and listen to Pink Floyd and drive after them. They weren't that hard to find. They were already senior citizens. Not my uncle, he is now, but back then he was younger. And when he got in the car, he said, "This is a movie." He kind of wanted to be a filmmaker. Turned out to be a business guy at TCU. He goes after my grandpa, Papa, Claude, and Zeke, his brother. They got shotguns in the trunk. Look at this fancy car here. Hang on. Give me a second. They got shotguns in the trunk. They're going to Vegas. It's pretty much a gamble. But they got to stop at the gas station. My dad got mad. Yeah, he's the older brother. They had to stop at every gas station to take a piss. One's blind and diabetic. The other one doesn't have a voice. He uses a voice changer. Who robbed who? We don't know for sure if it was an inside job on the whole thing, on the home invasion. But who cares? We would never know. It was such a crazy time. It was the 1980s, man. Like, no, that wasn't the 1980s. I'm sorry, that was the 90s. That was like the early 1990s, probably before 95, maybe later. It might have been after 95, like 96 or 97. It could have been. Well, it was before he passed away. He passed away a little bit, like closer to 99, before I took off to Hollywood. My uncle actually found them. He jumped in his, whatever he was driving. My uncle has worked for like almost every big business company. He's probably been connected with ADT. He worked for a lot of medical stuff, doing scrubs and stuff, like weird scrub stuff, like medical scrubs and stuff. But anyway, he found them, and they were at a gas station. I think he might have got to Vegas and found them. He found them, brought them back, and my grandfather, a few years later, a series of strokes, and then Zeke, his brother, didn't make it either. They no one makes it, but they tried. They're like, "We're going to Vegas. Come on!" That's a movie. And their son is in this economy-sized car. He's like, and he's part of the Libertarian Party, not the New Liberty Party. That's me. He's part of the Libertarian Party. He likes punk rock music and going out to Deep Ellum and celebrating his birthday with karaoke, singing to the Buzzcocks. And acting like Morrissey. And I got some of that footage on my Samsung 8. I gave him a yoga exercise back thing that rolls. You're rolling your back on that yoga exercise thing. I gave him one of those. Said, good luck. Here's your good luck on your punk rock band. Nah, he turned out to be a business guy at TCU. My dad wanted to go there and study business, but listen, there's no business like show business. Let me tell you that. I'm coming on the second one right now. What is that? What in the world? I'm just trying to figure out if it's a water meter or something. Oh no, it's got an S on it. Yeah, I'm seeing something. And I am doing the pee-pee dance. Time to switch. Hitchcock would be perplexed and rolling in the grave. 7-Eleven near me. Gas station. Timothy Chalamet for Marty Supreme, but it could be Ethan Hawke on Blue Moon because he has that pause, which that was probably real with Ethan Hawke for Lawrence that worked with Rogers and Hammerstein. It was a lyricist. It could be Lawrence Hart. I could be wrong. Probably am on that one. Rogers and Hammerstein worked with a lot of people for the musical. Lawrence was a pal Joey. I don't even know how you pronounce his name, but Ethan Hawke did a good job. It was like he was pausing when he heard Blue Moon, the song. Richard Linklater's second film that year, he also did basically it's a nouvelle vague. She's about Jean-Luc Godard and Breathless. But he didn't get it for that. He got more attention for Blue Moon. I think they did almost like did two. They planned Blue Moon for 14 years or more, or maybe longer than that. It was during the time when Oklahoma was coming out, ducks and geese and blah blah gonna scurry, right? That came out when this Lawrence guy, this lyricist, and we'll look up his name later, he was writing for those groups, and Hammerstein had this great success, and he was on the outside of it, getting autographs with them and like getting photographs, and he was kind of the odd man out. It's probably going to be Ethan Hawke, but it could be Timothy Chalamet in the Safdie brother, Joshua Safdie, or Josh Safdie, who did Heaven Knows What, but he eventually would do Good Time, and eventually down the road he would do the brilliant Marty Supreme, which has Tears for Fears in it. Everybody wants to rule the world. Timothy's actually good. There is a movie that I will not review, and I remember seeing the review. I remember seeing a trailer on it a long time ago. This girl like bites his finger. Girl bites another girl's finger. I was like, what in the world? I won't review it. But he took a big risk. And like Marty Supreme, and he did play Bob Dylan recently. And he might it's going to be a fight between Ethan Hawke and Timothée Chalamet. We don't know who's going to get it. I'm kind of rooting for Ethan because, for one thing, I got to be in the same room, the L. Tishman Theater when he was interviewed by James Lipton. I was there when his interview, when he was with Uma Thurman still, and he was dealing with getting ready to do like movies like Sinister and things like that. He was already, you know, getting ready to, his career was changing, you know. This was probably maybe around the time, ballpark time figure when he was doing Training Day and all that kind of stuff. And he's really, you know, a lot of the hardcore directors don't really like him that much, but Richard Linklater does, and he's pretty cool. He did Blaze, which is a better movie than a lot of them, about Blaze Foley. It could be Timothée, because Timothy's more of a purist. But we don't know. I would probably root for Ethan, and it would be a fight between those two. I think the secret agent guy is too subtle, though. He might be too subtle to win. They sometimes have to be kind of bombastic. They're bombastic performances, you know. But, you know, there's nothing on the Lawrence one, and I'll look his name up later, where he's playing the lyricist. Nothing crazy about it. Yeah, I found out it was Lawrence Hart. Yeah, he was a lyricist. He wrote basically lyrics. Like a songwriter, basically, for freaking musicals and stuff like that. Blue Moon was actually a song. And he was pretty bitter about some certain things. I haven't seen any of them, so I'm just guessing. But I'd probably say it's going to be a fight between Timothée and Ethan. Probably put my money on Ethan. Thing called tuna. It's a very rare. Well, it's been around for a while. It's not rare. It's just tuna and ramen is probably rare. I don't know. It's seafood and noodles, basically. Is all it is. Seafood and noodles is not that rare, but maybe it's like, what is he having? He eats tuna and ramen with some veggies. But they eat seafood. I mean, they eat. What's it called? Hang on for a second. It's called sushi. They eat sushi. You guys have sushi?
It'll be all the way in front of
In the front by the produce? The produce section, the sushi. Guys are wearing like thick rubber gloves like an electrician, but he's pushing a cart with a red shirt that says Target on it. Like, oh, sushi is way over that way. I mean, that's what he was. Here, we'll look at him in just a minute. Couldn't see him. He knows where the sushi is. It's over in the produce section. Oh, okay. Large raw shrimp. And then they got the pork chops. If, what's his name was here? Matt. Under the radar van. It's like, pork chops and birdseed. Sushi, okay. Try and get some tuna. Tuna and sushi. It's like a one-man show kind of thing at times. Imagine the guy walks out on stage with, he's vlogging the audience. Vlogging. I love that word. Because that makes him mad. It's technically not a word yet. Vlog is. V-L-O-G is a word, but vlogging has not made it yet. It's the active verb. It's the active verb. It's verbiage for flog. I'm going to look at some birthday cakes. That one, maybe my son might get that one, and then that would be for my oldest daughter. And my youngest, probably too. I'd get doubles. Maybe celebrate their birthday at the same time. Probably get, I don't know which one David would like. Probably be stupid and get him that one and make him mad. But he's already like almost a teenager, pretty much. He pretty much is a teenager by now. Some are teenagers at the double-digit age, at the young double-digit age. Okay, there's like diet food right there. I'm still looking for sushi. Oh, okay, there it is. Finally. Hot honey maple smoke. Sushi. Usually they get the sticks. I was gonna surprise you. Full on. Full on. Alright. I was gonna surprise you, but I'm not that mean. We went with the Italian. So that's for later. Thing with the pull my map under the radar van smooth. Right here. This is all editing from Dunkin' Donuts. And they tell a real story. But you gotta have, you know. Hang on. How are you? Alright, we got this. This one removed. I got this, which is this is right here. This is like part of the war right here. Lighting's just about right. But when you do this, you want to do one thing. Say, okay. I go like this. It's a little sip. I'll tell you why later. Italian. Okay. It is good and gather. It's no artificial. Boar's Head Italian style wrap with wheat tortilla. Water, whole wheat, enriched wheat flour, reduced iron. Probably reduced iron, I don't know why. Sea salt is in it. Okay, a salami. That's all I see right now. Salami, it looks like that. No, maybe you can read it. Let me spell the line right now. Milk, soy, and wheat. Pork, sea salt, salami, uncured biscuit pork, suppressata, boar's head. Salami's there. I'm just looking for a date. 660 on calories. Today is that date. There, so they passed that one. I didn't try the omelet though. I'm gonna have it at the coffee shop. Palm oil, not too bad. 660. It almost was made by the Antichrist if it had one more 6. It has 666 calories? What? My aunt wouldn't buy it. She'd be like, let me get another one. This one has 667 calories. the layer with a feast on this, but I'll be later on. I got one of these. I spurged this on water. Kitty likes to eat a little bit of it. Then later on, when we get the sushi, we'll be prepared. We'll be big time prepared. Because I know someone made a comment about that right here. And for the tripod, this will be remembered for sure. For sure. Without a doubt. Kind of like a Breakfast Club kind of thing.